So there's a conversation happening right now in real estate that I think is actually creating more confusion than clarity. Everyone is looking for certainty. They're waiting for the right interest rate, the perfect market shift, the moment when the headlines finally calm down and everything feels safe again. But here's the problem. Real estate has never rewarded certainty. It rewards thoughtful action. And honestly, some of the biggest financial mistakes that I have ever seen over the years were not caused by people buying the wrong house. They were caused by waiting too long to make a decision at all. Now, before anybody panics, this is not one of those "you better buy now" speeches. In fact, I think fear-based real estate advice is part of the problem. Good decisions are rarely made from pressure. But I do think we need to start talking honestly about the hidden cost of indecision. Because while people are waiting for the market to feel predictable, life keeps moving. Families grow, jobs change, kids graduate, retirement gets closer, priorities shift. And sometimes the bigger risk, it's not making the move, it's staying stuck because you're trying to eliminate uncertainty that was never going to disappear in the first place. One thing I've learned after all of these years in real estate is that highly intelligent people, they often struggle the most in uncertain markets. Not because they aren't capable, but because they consume so much information that eventually they become paralyzed by it. More headlines, more predictions, more opinions, more YouTube economists telling you the crash is either tomorrow or it's never coming. At some point, information stops creating clarity and it starts creating fear. And meanwhile, the people who tend to win long term, they're usually the ones who step back and ask a different question entirely. They're not asking, is this the perfect time? But does this decision support the life I'm trying to build over the next 5 to 10 years? That is a completely different conversation because the reality is there will always be reasons to wait. Rates, elections, inventory, economic headlines, global events. The market will never walk up to your front door, hand you that crystal ball and say, okay, now it's safe. That's not how wealth is built. That's not how meaningful life transitions happen. The people who tend to do well over time, they learn how to make calm, informed decisions before certainty arrives. And honestly, that applies to more than just real estate. So if you're someone who's been sitting on the sidelines, trying to perfectly time the market, maybe the better question isn't, when will everything finally feel certain? Maybe the better question is, what is waiting actually costing me? Sometimes financially, sometimes emotionally, sometimes in the life you could already be living. And that's the risk no one models. I'm Lee Wilson with Boise's Best Real Estate. And remember, clarity, it will almost always outperform certainty.